Testing 1 2 1 2. Can y'all hear me? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Can y'all hear me? Okay. Ooh, y'all. I will really be having technical difficulties whenever I want to try something new. So, friends, I got a microphone off of Amazon, right? And I'm trying to like hook up the microphone to my laptop, but for whatever reason, it wasn't working. And my apologies, y'all, because I didn't have time to test it out before I came on live because I was not feeling well. And that's another reason why y'all not gonna see my face today. I really, really wish that y'all could see my face for this review because I had to watch the episode back. And it's a couple things we gonna talk about. It's a couple things. But at this point, y'all know me and y'all know what I'm looking like, and we see each other in my Candy Bird's voice, okay? So let's get into Love and Marriage Huntsville, y'all. The mid-season premiere is back. And I know we say this all the time, y'all, but it is wild AF that what we like, we watch Love and Marriage Huntsville all year round, y'all. Have y'all thought about that? That is so crazy. Wait, let me not get too far ahead. I really want to say hey to y'all because I missed y'all. I took a week off. I saw y'all last week for Ladies First panel, but hey, Keisha, Asia, Delia, California Cutie. Delia said she thought she was late. I'm late, y'all. My bad. Um, yeah, would have got this review to y'all yesterday, but y'all know, life be life, and my job be wild. Okay, I'll be like, goodness, they gonna cancel me. I'll be like, they gonna cancel me. Hey, Monique. Hey, Caribbean gal. But it's all good. So I'm super excited y'all are here. Miss Cookie Ray. Okay, cool. So y'all, we back for the mid-season premiere of Love and Marriage Huntsville. And it was what, 2 months since we watched the show. But honestly, y'all, it's been so long. Like I low-key forgot about the minimal shit that don't really matter. And number one, I will say it is wild as hell to see that we took 2 months off of this shit and we come back to Kimmy with her clown mask on like she always do as of lately. And we seeing her and Maurice talk about the same shit. We seeing her and Maurice talking about the same stuff. Embarrassing. Like, why are you choosing to do this to yourself? So let's get into the order of events, y'all. So, yeah, where is DC, right? I was like, what's DCI? Yeah, I don't know where DC is, but y'all know I never really cared for DC. So, yeah. Okay, cool. And California Cutie says she enjoyed the episode. Y'all let me know while we getting started. How would y'all rate the episode? On a scale of 1 to 10, where are you rating the episode at? I want to know what y'all was thinking. Yeah, one of my favorite parts was Marcel getting checked, and I really want to talk about that. That's that type of energy that I wish Big Lou would have had from Marcel Big City Ass. Let's see. Hey Jay says at this point, Kimmy and Maurice are taking a page out of Tisha and Marcel's book. Absolutely embarrassing. Um, 7, 7, 4. Ooh, Keisha. Hey Jay says 8.5. Caribbean Gal says 8 for Courtney. You know what, y'all? I'm gonna rate it a 7. I think 7 is fair. Oh, Monique, I'm shocked. Monique said, I'm embarrassed I liked it so much. This ain't like you. D says A. California Cutie says A. Okay. Yeah. For me, I'm gonna say it was a 7. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. But the reason why I'm not gonna give it that, like, I agree, y'all. I don't think that the episode could have scored higher than an 8. It definitely couldn't have. I mean, after all, it was a mid-season premiere, so 8 is like excellent for y'all to even be saying that. But the reason why I'm gonna hold my 1 point in my back pocket is just it just seems like we took so long off, y'all. And for me to come back to the show, hearing about Kenny and Maurice talk about the same shit for one, it was embarrassing for her. And I was just like, why? Not only that, like we got Tisha coming with all the smoke for Tiffany. I still can't even tell you what she do for real. And I'm like, hold on. I don't even remember Tiffany and Tisha beefing like that. And yes, they showed the flashbacks. But it was kind of given to me a little bit like we need to create storylines and challenges and climaxes of the show that have something to do with other than Mel and Martell. So I'm gonna give you an A for effort. That was a good effort, but my level of give a fuck just was not there whenever Tisha was talking about this beef with Tiffany and Kimmy talking to Maurice about the same old, like quite embarrassing. So, all right, let's get into it. So, y'all, episode starts out. We see the police clip of Keke on Crime Stoppers. And if y'all ain't watched the episode, which I'm sure a lot of y'all have, apparently Keke is in, and that's the question. Apparently Keke is in the store with her child. And it looks like she has the child picking up stuff that, she wants to steal. She is allegedly committing theft in the store. Thank you for becoming a member, Brittany. Allegedly committed theft, right? And I had heard about this when it first happened, but I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I didn't pay any mind at all because I thought it was old, number one. And number two, I was like, I ain't really heard much about this. Y'all know the gossip about Love and Marriage Huntsville be real heavy. So you don't know like whether to call a thing a thing. So what I try to do is I try to keep my blinders on like a horse and watch the episodes and just see what happens outside of that, see what people are posting to their stories. When I say people, I mean like cast members. And I hadn't heard about it, so I just like left it at that. Now, Keisha Boo says, do you believe that that's her? Or do y'all believe that's her? And I'm going to tell y'all absolutely. Absolutely. That looked like Keke. It looked like Keke. Do I think that was her? Yes. Do I think that this is something that she would do? I don't know the woman, but I'm going to tell y'all when Marceau said that Tisha family was from the other side of the tracks, this is what he was talking about. This is what he was talking about. I mean, he wasn't specifically talking about Keke only, but I'm going to tell y'all, it ain't too far from what we know to think that she was thieving out of Home Depot, having the kids steal out of Home Depot. So I want to dig into that just a little bit further. And thank you for the super chat, Miss Cookie Ray. Miss Cookie says, y'all, this petty ass crime warrants Crime Stoppers' attention. Nah, for real. We wish we had this kind of crime out here in Baltimore. Now, listen, this is the thing. I was thinking the same damn thing, Miss Cookie Ray. When they posted it to the news and everybody was talking about how it had gotten to the news, I immediately was just like, the only reason why y'all got this on Crime Stoppers is because y'all know that she's a member of a TV show. Y'all know that. And the fact that I think it was Tisha that was talking to Kimmy, or it might have been Tiffany, I don't know who it was, but one of the ladies was like, there's $1,000 reward out for her arrest. Be for real, y'all. Like $1,000. What is this? 1903? $1,000 ain't getting you nowhere, especially for somebody that's committing crime. So it's just funny how everybody was trying to put 20 on 10. Now, do I think she did the shit? Yes. Did Tiffany react the way that I would have reacted to the shit? Yes. And I'm going to explain to y'all why. But let me start here. At the end of the episode, they actually put up a screen where it says, like, as of the air date of the show, which was last Saturday, there have been no charges filed against Keke. So that lets y'all know whatever news station this was just trying to get a lot of buzz. regardless of if she committed the crime or she didn't commit the crime. And I also believe that it's like, I ain't got no law degree, but there's like a certain level of like value of goods that you have to steal for it to be like a federal versus misdemeanor. And if she would have just gave the shit back like what they insinuated she did, then there are no charges that are going to follow. You know what I mean? This is just something that she did that, you know, was a good opportunity for the show to talk about and a good opportunity for the news station to pick up and try to get some buzz, right? Okay, so we're going to get into Mel and Tiffany. The episode starts off with Mel and Tiffany, and I will say this. Congratulations, Tiffany and Lewis. The baby is so handsome. The baby is so cute. So, I mean, Tiffany, one thing I can't respect is when she wants something, she going to go out and get it. No matter how crazy it sounded for her to decide to get pregnant, she actually did. And she had a healthy, beautiful baby. On the other side of things, I was so confused on why Tiffany was sitting in the house with the moo-moo on and them earrings. I was like, girl, where are you going? And come to find out, it was to make that video. So, yeah, Mel comes over just to check on the newborn baby to see how Tiffany is doing. I think that this is a good scene. Check in on your postpartum friends. I think that's great. And she's asking Tiffany, how are you doing? And Tiffany immediately goes to, Mel, what are we doing with our brands? I was like, this woman has been messy throughout the entire pregnancy. Well, shit, even before, okay? But that baby didn't stop no show because Tiffany was still going to do her job and be messy as hell. Even after the baby, she came on there like, yeah, girl, I'm good. But Keke, let's talk about this shit right here. So she says, Mel, what are we doing on our brands for real? And Mel just starts laughing and says, this girl. And y'all, I'm not no Tiffany fan. But I'm starting to enjoy Tiffany more. And it's not because she's overly messy. It's because she gonna call a thing a thing. In this type of situation, the majority of people would speak about it, like the way that Tiffany did. She said, but hold on. I gotta split this because my opinions are split like they usually are. We gotta see this from different points of view, y'all. So on the one hand, if some shit was going down like that, I would definitely be talking to my friends about it. Like, y'all, did y'all see the shit? I would be cackling, okay? I would be cackling just because the shit sounds so salacious. It sounds like it was out of a damn TV show. That's why I would be cackling. Not because it was an unfortunate situation for Keke, because I could say like, damn, I hope she's doing all right. But on the other hand, sometimes it'd be like, oh my gosh, this shit is so wild. I gotta laugh about it, right? So for Mel to kind of just act like, oh, well, innocent until proven guilty. Well, I understand how you feel. It's just like, it gets frustrating for me to have conversations with people who I feel like is not being 100% genuine. Even if you gonna stick beside her, we not gonna sit up here and act like that lady in the video ain't Keke. But there's other dynamics. I guess you don't want to say anything that's incriminating to her on the show. I guess you don't want to say that looked like her because they could potentially use it in court. It's so many layers to this. But in a real life situation, y'all, I would be talking about the shit like Tiffany. On the other side of things, I'm going to call bullshit on this. Tiffany said, what are we doing about our brands? And I hate that whenever one person feels some type of way, they try to turn stuff into a group effort. And I love Mel's response to this. If you feel like you want to separate your brand from that, don't talk to her, don't speak to her, whatever you want to do that you think is the best decision, you do that. As far as Tiffany talking about our brands, that was almost, to me, it seemed like a way for Tiffany to ice Keke out of the group. I don't like that shit. Um, and I also felt like Tiffany's confessional when she said, "How are you going to be new to the group?" She said, "How are you going to be new and causing all this stuff?" And I was thinking to myself, like, new to what? And then it clicked. And I was like, oh, Tiffany is saying new to the group. Tiffany wants some sort of seniority um, for when it comes to like a rite of passage to being in a group. And she wants to use this opportunity to say, hey, everybody, Keke's not worthy of sitting at the table with us. So we all got to decide to protect our brands and we got to ice her out. Now, let's be for real, y'all. Can y'all tell me what Tiffany's brand is? Somebody in the comments, please tell me what Tiffany's brand is. So, yeah, I see 2 points of view. I would definitely be discussing the shit with my friends. I would not be laughing at her misfortune. I would be laughing that the shit just don't seem like it's a reality, right? Now, on the other side of things, any idea or any feelings that I had, I would make that as an individual. I can't stand nobody that want to make a decision with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plus people. Stand on it and say it with your chest. Say it with your chest. Let's see. Tiffany likes to stir the pot by any means necessary. That's her brand. Krista says being messy. That's her brand. Exactly. It's her brand. So yeah, y'all. I'm just like, yeah. I feel 2 ways about it. So anyway, at the end of them hanging out, Tiffany says that she wants to do a baby reveal for all of the ladies. So I'm like, okay, cool. Amethyst, I'm right there with you. Laughing at the foolery and the time and not the circumstances. Exactly. But if you don't want to fool with her, that's on you. It just really felt to me like she was trying to create a group narrative that Keke cannot hang with them. And it's just like, nah. If my friend going through it, I ain't finna just decide to stop fucking with her because of one thing, and I want everybody to stop fucking with her too. That's weak. Okay, so y'all, we're gonna move on to the next scene. The next scene, we get Courtney and Marceau. And I have to tell y'all, this was the best scene of the episode. Now, if y'all remember from the last season, it ended off with them doing the Black Business Expo. And I don't know if it was just me, but I noticed like an extra strength on the X coming from everybody this episode. Courtney said expo. When Kimmy was talking to Maurice in the park, she said expo. And I just want to say, hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. Because y'all are making an effort to make sure that we hear that X coming out of the expo. So Courtney shows up to Black, and y'all, they was beefing because Marceau came up to Stormy at the Black Business Expo, and he said, hey, now let me remind y'all, because they didn't really talk about this part till Stormy brought it up. He said, hey, Stormy, I almost didn't recognize you. You look different. And I'm not going to take it as a whole lot of shade, but she wasn't wearing no makeup. So I can't remember if he said that she looked different with no makeup or she just looked different, period. And he was like, y'all need any help? She said no. He goes, so, do y'all, what about that $100? Hey, I don't know if you have a chance to send that $100. And Stormy says, what you talking about? He says, well, yeah, you were supposed to send $100 for the booth. And I don't remember exactly what words were used, but with the positioning of Marceau's body, with him, I think he might have called her sweetie or something like that. It was like he was trying to mansplain to her why she should hand him over $100, even though that wasn't anything that they ever discussed. Now, from a business standpoint, that was unprofessional as fuck. I think that it was also given, we ain't got the funds to pay for this event, and we want y'all to pay for it on the front end, and then we gonna write it off on our taxes on the back end. That's what it was given. Y'all know how I be thinking. These people in these nonprofits, you can't trust them. But the thing is, like, whenever you have a nonprofit company, you got to have some money somewhere. Most people have donors, right? Now, I'm not saying the donor thing to try to side with Tisha and Marceau, because that was nothing y'all had ever discussed. Y'all had never discussed having the vendors be donors for your event. The whole purpose of the expo, from what it seemed like to me, was to give Black businesses the chance to get exposure, to learn from the speakers. So, like Stormy said, why would you then go charge the same people who you claim you're trying to help? Why? To get a tax write-off? So I'm going to tell y'all this. Marceau and Tisha can play crazy like they don't understand what Stormy and Courtney's issue was. I think it's just because Stormy and Courtney are not playing dumb and trying to keep it cute like Marceau is. I can respect that Courtney and both Stormy knew what his intent was. Even if Marceau didn't walk over there, post up like he was ready to fight and say, hey, bitch, you would have given me $100. His intent was to punk her in that moment into giving her $100. I mean, into giving him $100, even though there was nothing that they didn't discuss prior, right? My other issue with that is Mel didn't want to speak. So Stormy did y'all a favor by showing up. Now, what you could have done, Marceau, is say, hey, Stormy, every vendor gets this much space. I need you to make sure that your booth size is taking up this much space, not half the venue. But you know what? You didn't do it because you're unprofessional and y'all didn't have y'all shit in a row. Y'all didn't. Because if you did, you would have outlined vendor protocol. What time to show up, how much you pay for a booth, how much space you get. There would have been different tiers, but y'all didn't do that because y'all want somebody to help y'all pay for shit, even though y'all was acting like y'all was doing this out of the goodness of y'all's hearts. So Courtney pulls up and he says, hey, how was the expo? And Marceau is like, oh, it was good. We got a lot of positive feedback, blah, 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 blah. And he says, all right, well, let's get into you trying to check my wife. And Marceau was like, check your wife. Like, she must have misinformed you. He said, no, I know. This is what I know. And they start talking. Courtney says, where did you ever mention $100? Marceau says that it was on the website, the World Wide Web. It was on the website. And I'm just like, come on. He says he also said it out loud. If he said it out loud, y'all trust and believe production would have played that clip. He never said it out loud. And come to find out later on in the episode, we find out that they decided halfway through the event that they wanted to start charging people. They were so unorganized that they didn't even charge everyone. They only charged half the vendors, the ones that they could finesse. What? Like, that's wild, right? So Courtney says it's just wild to me that, I feel like you always trying to disrespect women. You need to stay in men's business. And Marceau does that. Well, I just think it's interesting that a woman who sells hair care for women says stay out of women's business. Marceau, this is one of them. Courtney is one of those people who you can't use like your asshole intelligence to try to navigate and manipulate a conversation. And that's what he was trying to do. Courtney said, man, you know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about business. You need to stay in Marceau business or men's business. And what I think is so funny, y'all, that stuck out is Marceau ended up saying, you can't be that much of a protector. This man said, you can't be that much of a protector. And I want y'all to pay attention to that. Because Marceau, he's saying it from the standpoint of whether it's a man or a woman, I should be able to have this discussion. Like, business is business, right? But the issue is You had conversations with the lady and her husband who both own that business. You didn't say anything about the fee before. You wait until her husband isn't around, and maybe you didn't intentionally wait, but I'm gonna tell you like this: your energy was completely different than what it would have been if a man was there. He tried to mansplain her into handing him over $100. I know $100 is nothing, but it's something to the people asking for it, right? So the fact that he said you can't be that much of a protector lets me know that you would never protect your wife like that. Not unless it was something that was affecting you is what I'm imagining. I don't think that Marceau can really comprehend the level of protection that Courtney has for his wife. And I think that that's the way it should be. This is the way that I would have wanted Big Lou to step to Marceau last season. Yes, Big Lou explained how he felt about it and, talked about, don't step to my wife, stuff like that, right? But to me, I feel like Big Lou folded way too fast whenever he got in front of the men. It was almost as if he was trying to keep the peace. He was like, I gotta say something because my wife has an issue with it, but I also want to be cool with y'all. Courtney's like, I don't give a fuck about none of that. You're not gonna talk to my wife crazy. I got a problem with you. If you got a problem with me saying something, go to everybody. I don't give a F, right? So I really appreciated Courtney's energy and his directness. I really appreciated Stormy's energy because she could hold her own. When she said you don't want to see Courtney, it threw them all the way off. And it threw them off because she went from 0 to 100. Marceau was going to bring in the douchery at about 30%, then about 50%, but he wasn't going to take it all the way up. But no, you call a thing a thing. You let that man know that you see exactly what he's doing. So Courtney is giving the tip to a bartender. He said, yeah, that's 100 on Marceau. And he says, I got plenty of millions that I can be worried about. Why would I be worried about this, right? I love this comment. Amethyst says, Tisha protects Marceau. That's the part. That's the part that got my attention. Marceau is giving passenger princess. That's why he always sassy with women. Low key. He is always sassy with women. And yes, I agree that Courtney has a different energy than Big Lou. Big Lou wants to be nice. And he wants to be liked. Jarrell said that Big Lou also had to contend with all three ends, Marceau, Martell, and Maurice, which is a fair point. But at the end of the day, if you my husband, I'm going to need you to turn it up with all three of them. Because what was they going to do? What was they going to do? And y'all, this is the point. Regardless of if this situation was not that deep, because let's be for real, like it probably wasn't that deep. But what this situation does is lets Marceau and Tisha both know you better not ever try that shit again. Don't ever try to play my wife. And I think that from this point forward, we probably won't see Marceau, express that same energy that he does with some of the other women on the show, like he does with Tiffany. He would never try Stormy like that after this. So let's see. We'll see for the rest of the season if that's something that he tries again. But I'm commending Courtney on this conversation right here. All right, so moving on from that, we get Tisha and Kimmy, and they are discussing everything from the new place that they're staying at. And y'all, what's new? This is like the same season after season after season. No timeline on the new house. I can't remember what it's called anymore. I think it's 7 Acres or Scott Manor. I don't know what it's called, y'all. No update on that house. The house that they was in before, that was a small house for their family of 5, is getting renovated, and they don't have any timeline on when those renovations are going to be finished. So now it seems to me like we got not one but 2 homes that we don't know when the projects are going to be finished. So now at this point, it seems like y'all are renting in like an apartment or a townhome, 3x2. I have no idea. I don't know what y'all are doing. I have a feeling that this 7 acres is just not going to be built. I don't know. Something is telling me. Oh, it's 47 acres. Shit, I don't know, right? Never 80, never 70, never nothing acres. I don't know, y'all. Um, it's giving sticks and stones. Um, and y'all, I feel like Tisha and Marceau know that it's not gonna happen. But that's just something that they're not gonna announce on TV. They're robbing Peter to pay Paul on camera. Exactly. How many nonprofits can we come up with? How many businesses can we create to show additional income when we go and we get the funds to pay for the 47 acres to be built? Buying land is one thing. Building a home is another thing, which honestly shouldn't be that difficult for y'all, being that y'all are in the real estate market, right? I have no idea. I believe y'all are like developers, I think, or y'all work with developers. I don't know what y'all do, right? I can't even tell y'all what y'all do. Like Tisha can't say what Tiffany do. But something seems a little off, y'all. Necey D says Marcel and Tisha seems like they're separated. Ooh, girl, that's not a bad theory. Because what I just was not understanding is, why would you be doing renovations on the home that's supposed to be temporary, like in the interim, to you getting the 47 acres? It don't make sense unless you need a reason to be in two different places. Girl, I think you're right. I never thought about that. I never thought about that. That has to be, because we all know that the math ain't mathing, but we just don't know, like, what's going on. What's going on? I'm not understanding. So yeah, that's a good idea. For some positive news, y'all, Kimmy is done with all her treatment, so that's amazing. But it still seems that this man is stressing her out. So let's get into Tisha and Kimmy discussing Stormy and Tiffany. So apparently, y'all, you remember at the beginning of this video, I was like, is Tisha and Tiffany really trying to beef? Like, who said we wanted this? Who said we cared about this? Who said we wanted this? Like, I'm not pressed on either one of y'all beefing with each other, and it's definitely not nothing that I want to see play out over a couple of episodes. Girl, bye. So Tiffany says she felt like the Whitlows were left out from the Black Business Expo. And Tisha simply says, Tiffany ain't a part of the comeback group. And to be real, she don't even know what she does. And this to me rubbed me the wrong way. Just because Stormy isn't a part of the comeback group either. But y'all needed somebody with credentials to take Mel's spot. Now, I'm not saying that Tiffany was the answer, because I too don't know what Tiffany's brand is. I too don't think that Tiffany has credentials to give people business advice. I don't know what she does, right? But just the statement alone, she's not a part of the comeback group. We got somebody in the comeback group who don't even have the credentials. Martell Holt, right? He getting kicked out of his house, or them people house. So when Tisha said that, to me, it felt like an effort to other Tiffany. And it was very similar in my mind to what we experienced at the beginning of the episode. It's like everybody in this group, even though they won't say it, they enjoy having the proximity to what Mel and Martell had set up when they first started this show. The comeback group is something that they think is elite. We started the show. You're not in the main group. You're not in the picture. You're not the main cast member. So you can't sit with us. Tiffany got on this show. She done been back for 2 or 3 seasons now. Keke, you can't sit with us. You're not doing big shit like we doing, right? Everybody wants the rite of passage, and everybody wants to be big sis. So the shit was just kind of lame to me that Tisha said you're not a part of the comeback group. Because that to me was never a reason not to have her speak at the Black Business Expo. There's plenty of reasons to have her not speak, but that was just kind of, girl, I guess. I guess. Um, let's see. Okay, D knows what Tiffany does. D says Tiffany works with pharmaceutical companies to get people of color into clinical trials for drugs because we may react differently. Oh, that's cool. I thought she worked at the Chamber of Commerce. I had no idea. Iverson, my bad. I'm probably chopping your name up. Black Enterprise did a story on Tiffany a while back. She and others have this medical finder app, I think. Okay, cool. And hey Jade, I think this is a good point. We know that Kimmy is a nurse, but what does she do on a day-to-day? What type of okay, this is what I was about to get to next. I had not even read your second question, but that's exactly what the hell I was about to get to. What type of attorney is Maurice? Martell begs for a living. The comeback group is a whole as a whole has questionable credentials. Because I was trying to say something else. But no, for real. While the ladies are talking, they end up talking about Stormy. They said they don't know where her energy is coming from. They were completely confused by that. And it's like, okay, y'all might be used to the mental manipulation and men strong arming y'all into certain opinions, certain feelings, when to speak, when not to speak, when to fuck, when not to fuck. Sorry, excuse my language, right? But y'all might be used to men strong arming y'all into doing ish that y'all really don't want to do, but Stormy is not. As far as her and her household, they're not fooling with that. So both Kimmy and Tisha can play dumb if they want to. Hey, I see you got your clown mask on like you always do, Kimmy. Anyway, they start talking about Keke, right? Keke, Tisha says that she heard about it. Kimmy says that she saw it on the news. And Kimmy was like, man, I don't even know what to do to help her because Maurice ain't that type of attorney. And when she said that, y'all, I fell back into my couch. Because the question is, what type of attorney is Maurice? For whatever reason, I don't even know if Maurice is practicing. If he is, let's see it. Okay, I'm not doubting you, but what I'm saying is, it seemed like that credit repair business is the bread and butter. It definitely seems like it, because I know this man for repairing credit. I don't know him to be a attorney. Pacino says he's a closing attorney, supposedly. Oh, okay, that would make sense. Haven't seen him close a deal on the show. So I'm just like, y'all get out of here. It's just annoying whenever you watch the show and you start to feel like people is feeling themselves a bit too much. What do y'all do for real? Bye. Tisha then in her confessional says that she's done helping Keke, she's done extending herself, and that this is something that Keke has to do on her own. She has to take charge of her own life, yada yada yada. That irked me as well, y'all. Only because, let's be for real, Keke is a grown ass woman. Tisha, I'm not doubting that you have not extended yourself to your cousin. But the way that she said Keke has to take charge of her own life and she has to do the work for herself, she said it as though she was saying, I'm done helping her. Like, this is what happens when I stop fucking with her. When me and Marceau decide that we are no longer in her lives, she's back on drugs and she back stealing at the stores, and now it's on her to pick it up because now that I'm not in her life, she gonna be going through it. That's the way that it came off to me. And the escort her asked a good question. Didn't Tisha have a case for stealing allegedly the people was bringing up old court documents of, or I don't know if it was court documents, I don't know what it was, but allegedly the people was finding stuff on Tisha saying that she was stealing down to the mall. And this wasn't when she was like 18. She had a baby by then. Like, come on. I'm just like, hey, Bonnie, Tisha grandstands when it comes to Keke. Yes. It's just this episode, y'all, I was able to peep the desire for different people to try to shit on somebody else. Tiffany wanted to shit on Keke. Let's be for real. Let's say, what are we doing with our brands? Let's stop fucking with her. I'm gonna say this. I would have talked about shit. I wouldn't have just been like, you can't believe everything you see on TV. I would have talked about it. But I get it. Maybe you don't want to say nothing incriminating. Tiffany had a desire to shit on Keke. Tisha had a desire to shit on both Tiffany and Keke. I'm just like, what is going on? Y'all. Whatever. We'll see. So anyway, let's move on. We'll move on from that and we get into Martell and Chris. Martell is doing what we've seen him do for seasons, which is get by using other people. We saw him get by being with Mel. And y'all know every time this episode go off, at least when you watch it on Hulu, they replay like just the start from finish recap or 100th episode type thing. And they played a clip of Mel in the earlier seasons, I think in season 2. And she said that I'm tired of feeling like I'm hindering my blessings based on who I'm with. And when she said that, I was like, ooh, that just sounds so freeing. And when she said that, she knew exactly who Martell was as a person. Somebody who don't want to do shit, ain't gonna do shit, will try to get by association. And that's exactly what we seen in this scene with Chris. So, yeah, on is on Hulu. I got Hulu Live. I don't know if it's on a regular Hulu, but I got Hulu Live. So, anyway, Martell is renting this home, right? And I knew it wasn't his. Okay, they acted like it was in the beginning because we seen the man go from a apartment to this rental home, and Chris is coming over to get this man out the house, essentially, right? And the first thing that Chris addresses is, the issue with the subpoena. He's saying, I think it was messed up that you have me and my wife come speak in court. I want to let you know that we are not choosing sides. So what was the point of that? Martell says, I completely agree. I don't think that you should choose sides. I've always said from the beginning that we should just let the truth come out. And that's all I wanted, was to let the truth come out. Martell, that's not what you wanted. You called those people in court. You didn't tell them in advance, hoping that they would feel pressured to speak on your behalf. That was your reason to not give them a heads up. Number one, you knew they would have said no. They would have been mad at you. Number two, you were hoping that if they just got in front of the right people, knowing that you were the one that subpoenaed them, that they would feel pressure to speak on your behalf. And for that, that's whack as fuck. And I can tell that the Fletchers almost don't want to fool with you no more. So Chris ends up saying this. Not only does he check him on that, he says, hey, this house is due to be sold. The owners had asked for you to get out the house in 30 days. How long has it been? Martell says, it's been 40-something. And he says, okay, well, you got to go. And Martell says, what are they going to do? They're not going to kick me out the house, are they? And Chris says, yes, they will kick you out of the house. You have to go. You've been here. The house has been on the market for 8 months. You've known in advance. They played a flashback of him saying he had to get out the house for 6 months. The man is squatting at this point. The man is homeless. And that's why he's faking like he digging down Sheree. He needs a place to stay. Okay? That's why we see him on Bravo Network and OWN Network. Because that man ain't got no place to stay. Okay? He gonna do the back and forth. So Martell says to him, you know, so if you couldn't find me a place to stay in 30 days, like, you didn't even try to help me out. Chris says, are you serious? Are you serious, Martell? If you couldn't find me a place to stay in 30 days, how the hell do you think I'm about to find a place to stay for me and my children? For me and my children. Martell, your children don't live with you full time. Your children has mothers who they can go stay with. Because if you fall on bad times, that don't mean that your kids fall on bad times. If you are homeless, your children are not homeless because they have mothers that are able to take care of them. So this is almost comical, y'all, that we saw Martell at least a season or two ago threatened to take Mel to court, which not even threatened because he did. That's the part of the whole court case now. You literally took your ex-wife to court trying to get full custody of the kids and not even, let's say, in real time, it probably was not even a month since the court case wrapped. Your ass ain't got a place to stay. See, you got your clown mask on like you always do, Martell. You look foolish, but I'm not surprised. I would honestly be shocked if you had somewhere stable and we hadn't seen you in 2 different houses or more, or filming in your mama house because you ain't got nowhere to stay since the divorce. Okay, you ain't got no home. Okay. So Martell says to Chris, like, it's not about you helping. Is it that you just want the money? Like, is this just about money? And Chris was like, come on, man, it's never been about the money. So Martell really shows his narcissistic ass during this scene. And I'm sure that Martell has made his way back to Ariana's house to sleep with her so he can find a place to stay during that time too. But what you better do is call your mama up and go stay on over there. So yeah, it's giving bum energy. It shows how much he'll do to be vengeful. Yes. He will literally lie in your face and act like you did something to him. And I hope that if the Fletchers didn't get anything from this, I hope they understand, like, once you are no longer supporting Martell and making sure that he is succeeding in life, not even succeeding, at this point surviving, because this man has shown us that he can't keep a house over his head. If you're not doing what you can to help him survive, then he'll turn on you, and that's exactly what he did to Mel. But I ain't gonna speak too soon because based on the previews for future episodes, it looked like Nell is getting into some shit that she ain't got no business getting into for the sake of being on this show. So let's move on, y'all. Let's get into Kenny and Maurice. Y'all, I'm exhausted just thinking about it. I'm exhausted just thinking about it. This entire scene was embarrassing, Kimmy. This entire scene was embarrassing. I'm like, what's the best way for me to sum this up? Because this shit right here, I need it off my screen. Kimmy, I need you to stand up. Because the last time I did a review, I think I lit her ass up. I used to love me some Kimmy. But it's making perfect sense. It's making perfect sense why you were into the family that you were in. Oh, goodness. Okay. So, yeah, I agree, Jarrell. We can't be more mad than she is about it. I feel you on that. Because what I no longer do is sit here and talk about how disgusted Maurice is for his thoughts and feelings on this. And then I move on from that to, Kimmy, what the hell is you doing? And now we've been, like, if you think about it, y'all, how long is the season on for? Like 3 or 4 months. We got a 2-month break. You think I want to talk about this dumbass shit for another 3 or 4 months? Kimmy, Maurice, show some business. Okay? Show some business because this is embarrassing. So, anyway, they're at the park. And they're talking about the Black Business Expo. Kimmy makes sure to say it with an X because she's tired of y'all on the internet talking about her sister-in-law with the Espo. They're tired of y'all talking about her speech impediment, okay? So Kimmy tells Maurice that half the vendors didn't pay and that they got in for free. Maurice was upset about that because he had no idea. Especially whenever he started off the conversation talking about how great Tisha is and how she does things for the community. And everyone's hating on Tisha. Their energy changed real quick once he found out that he got finessed. It wasn't just Stormy. You also got finessed. So they move on from talking about that to Kimmy's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to go back to the store. I'm going to get a yoni egg. And, she going to start doing Kegels because she want to make sure that her puss is tight and that her husband don't get tired of it and that he don't go nowhere and that, she got to hang on to this one because she ain't trying to start over at 50 whatever years old. She don't say all that, but that's what I got from it. So after expressing her desire to do better in the bedroom, to enjoy sex more, even though she just got out of the fight of her life, Maurice ends up saying, I believe that it's a mental thing. And she says, what? I'm on a medication that clearly says if you take this medication, XYZ will happen. And he said, well, yeah, I need a timeline on when that's going to end. Maurice is like, hey, I know you were sick with cancer fighting for your life. I know you was taking medication that was going to save your life. But fuck all that. Bust them legs open. That's what he said. And Kimmy says, yeah, I'm trying. It's not a physical thing. It's a mental thing. And I'm going to tell y'all this. She says it's not a mental thing. It's a physical thing. I'm going to tell y'all this. The reason why I was even more annoyed in this scene is because I don't think that Kimmy was more upset at what Maurice said. I think that Kimmy was upset that she was trying to throw an alley-oop for them to make it seem like they were on the same page about Maurice's comments. She also wanted to make it seem like, he's being patient. She wants to have sex. There's the desire. She wants her husband. And Maurice fucked it up again by saying something dumb. Like, no, I need a timeline for when this is over. And then she got mad because Maurice, that's not the image that she wants to project. She doesn't want to project the image of Tisha and Marceau. She wants to look like she's smarter than them. She wants to look like she wants more for herself than Tisha does. But the reality is she doesn't. She doesn't. She just wants to make sure that you can help her project that. And in this scene, you did not help her project that. You were working backwards against the narrative that she was trying to read to us. And she says to him, well, you know what? You're starting to sound like a borderline ass. Kimmy, I think we've crossed that point. I think it's way over the borderline, okay? There's no border there. I think he's been way in the deepest part of being an ass. So this was quite embarrassing. And Maurice just wants to know when she's going to get back to normal. And she ends up saying, after a little bit, it's going to be a conscious choice. Like, okay, Kimmy. So because your husband didn't take the alley-oop to seem like a better person, now you have to remind us that this ain't shit that you stand for. So you're letting us know that after a while, you're consciously not going to have sex with your husband. I'm going to need you to do this, Kimmy. Do not come on camera and discuss your shortcomings for when it comes to having sex with your husband. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's embarrassing. I don't want to talk about you. Kimmy is an elder to me, so it just feels, Kimmy's old enough to be my mother, y'all. It feels so weird to be talking about this grown lady in this way. But one thing that I feel like I know from reality TV is age is one thing, but the insecurities that women have live on forever. You see it on these dating shows, y'all. I watch The Bachelor. I watch Bachelors in Paradise. I watch the white people shit. I watch Ready to Love. Y'all know all the dating shows I watch, right? the insecurities live on with women from forever. And it doesn't change. And I feel like women low-key look for men to solve those issues. And even when you feel like you have the man, the insecurity that was already there, you've never solved. So you're trying to do everything you can to make sure that this man don't go nowhere. And that's what I got in this scene. So Miss Kimmy, I need you to stop. Don't come on TV talking about it. That's something that y'all can work through in private. But thank you, California Cutie. Yes, it's almost 300 people in the chat. So please take a moment to hit the like button. We're going to get into the final scene, which is Keke and Mel. But before we do that, y'all do me a favor and like the video. Okay, y'all, cool. So, yes. Like the video, share the video with a friend, y'all. I said we was gonna get into the last scene real quick. Stormy and Courtney have a conversation. They talk about the Scotts. Stormy killed me recapping the story because everything that she told Courtney about her interaction with Tisha and Marceau was very factual. And I'm the same way, Stormy. If somebody hit me up talking about, hey, I just want to let you know, nah, bitch, you don't want to let me know shit. Don't let me know nothing because you will get cursed out. So I felt you on that, Stormy. But one of the things I wanted to talk about was Stormy's reaction to the Keke video. Stormy says that she can't talk about her being the person that she is, and that it just makes her have more care for her and wonder like if she can help her. And I love that Stormy is choosing to take this route similar to Mel. But I'm going to tell y'all, as for me, I too will be concerned for my friend. I would. But I'm not going to act like I would not be laying up in the bed with my husband watching that Crime Stoppers video on repeat in shock and laughing. Like, not laughing at her, but laughing. Like, is this shit for real? Y'all don't understand how funny it is because something similar happened. Not to a friend, but we friends here, right? In real life. Somebody who a bunch of my friends know posted a video that was sounded like it was something out of a damn TV show. And although there was a cause for concern, there also was a moment of like, bitch, did you see this? Is this for real? I hope he's okay. But girl, what is going on? And I'm letting y'all know right now, I'm going to have that moment. I'm going to have that moment and be like, girl, what is going on? But I really do love that she decides to have sympathy. So what we see right now is both Stormy and Mel deciding to take the high road and be positive and kind of be, have empathy for Keke in this situation. I think that it's absolutely necessary because the others, in my opinion, are weak-minded and they absolutely would love the opportunity to other her. I think Tisha is feeling like she is vindicated in this moment. And I'm going to tell you right now, Tisha, that is not the case. So let's move on to Keke and Mel. We finally see Keke at the end of the episode. Mel stops by her house. She gives her an encouraging t-shirt, which is really sweet. And I am not going to lie, y'all. Keke is either anxious out her mind in this scene or under the influence or both, in my opinion. Keke lets Mel know that she had just got out the hospital. It was her second time at the hospital this week. She was having chest pain, back pain, her neck, her back, everything hurt. They ran CAT scans, MRIs, all types of stuff, all types of tests, drew her blood to see what was wrong, and nothing. She doesn't know what's wrong with her, y'all. I'm going to tell y'all what's wrong with Keke. Keke has anxiety, okay? When you get anxiety, that shit can turn physical. And I'm sure you got anxiety because you saw your ass on the news. You saw your ass on the news. You've been having to explain to people what is going on. You probably are toying with the idea of, them talking about your child stealing for you. You're probably thinking about people potentially wanting to call CPS on you, thinking about people maybe knowing that you might be back on drugs. I'm sure you're anxious, and that shit has manifested into something physical. And that's why you were in the hospital for 2 days this week. The other reason why you could be in the hospital is because you may also be having withdrawals. I don't know this lady. I don't know if this lady is on drugs. She said she was taking pills, but it very much was giving pills in this scene. They was mixing and editing and chopping and screwing, but I don't think they did too much mixing and editing, chopping and screwing, because it seemed like you were talking a lot, seemed like you were anxious. When you pulled out that purple fan, Keke, that was it for me. Sweating like a damn racehorse. I didn't seen it before. I didn't seen it before. The room is on 70 degrees. Why are you in here sweating? I'm not understanding. So anyway, Mel ends up eventually talking about the Crime Stopper videos. Yeah, she I hope she gets some help. I honestly do. She needs some help. And I don't know who is gonna make that call for her. I'm wondering, like, is it her husband? Is she getting paid anything from the show? Even if it's a little bit, is that something that they don't want to give up? But yeah, she needs help. And somebody need to make the call that she don't need to come back on the show. She shouldn't have been back on the show, honestly. So finally, Mel brings up the Crime Stopper situation, and she's talking about Tiffany and says, I'm not gonna lie, a couple people sent me a video, a couple people talked to me about it, even Tiffany discussed it with me. And Keke says, okay, so is she talking about me being accused or convicted? And that was basically Keke's way of saying innocent until proven guilty. Accused or convicted. You did that shit, in my opinion. You did that shit, in my opinion. I think that it's honorable to be a loyal friend, Mel and Stormy. But I also understand calling a thing. And I'm also not here for the group effort of shunning Keke when she's going through shit. So I see it all types of different ways, y'all. Let me read some of y'all's comments, and then we're going to get out of here. Miss Cookie Ray says, I hope she gets the help. Yep, California Cutie says she kept looking at the ceiling and started sweating. Yep, Mel was trying to keep it cool. Amy says, I think she was nervous because she wasn't sure if Mel was visiting her as EP or a friend. I think she was nervous just because she did the shit and she didn't know if she was going to have to lie. Turner says she may have been going through withdrawals. I was thinking the same thing. Yep. Ray Bay says apparently she's suing because it was a lady in front of her. Interesting. But yeah, let's see. Jarrell says it also could be the editing. Production is creating a narrative that Keke, I'm assuming, is back on drugs. Also, Tisha seen Keke seem manic, like she could be mentally ill. She did. I'm not no psychologist. I don't know what's going on. But I do also know that people on drugs, that drugs manifest all sort of mental illnesses. So I have no idea what was going on. When Tisha was saying stuff like, oh, well, they do say sometimes you have to go get stuff for the drug dealer. It was like, Tisha, girl, shut up. How you know this lady didn't need to do construction on her house, stealing out the Home Depot, and she just didn't want to pay for the shit? Like, quit. I need you to stop it right now. She had to go get stuff for the drug dealer. Okay. She looked nervous and low-key her eyeballs was popping out. Yeah, y'all. It was an unfortunate sight to see. But I think that this was a pretty decent episode, y'all. I told y'all on a scale of 1 to 10, I was giving it a 7. A lot of y'all said y'all was giving it an 8. I ain't mad at it, but we gonna haul it out. It's 300 people in the chat. Y'all do me a favor and like the video, share the video with a friend. I will be back tomorrow on Jamie That's Me's channel. Ooh Ladies First panel is live this week on Wednesday, not Thursday. So if y'all need the link to the panel, I'll be sharing it on my community wall. I'll be sharing it on my Instagram stories, and you can go find it on Jamie and Bonnie's pages as well. But we're gonna be live on Jamie's channel tomorrow. So as always, y'all, I hope y'all have a good night. Like the video, share it with a friend, comment, subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.